Hello everyone, Rurikhan here, coming at you with a review that is being recorded live in a live stream, and this is my review of Diablo Immortal. This is going to be lengthy, this is going to be extensive, so take a seat and get ready because there's a lot of things to talk about. Now before we begin, it is important that I answer a couple of questions that a lot of people have made me, which were, Rurikhan, why are you doing this? Why are you playing this mobile game? Do you like mobile games? Like, what's the deal? Why do you care so much about this? And I hope that people understand. Diablo 2 was the first, I think it was the first video game that I really dedicated a significant amount of time to playing online. And I played a big chunk of Diablo 2. I love Diablo 2. I haven't played the resurrected version because of the Blizzard controversy around them not treating their employees properly. And, you know, my form of showing support there was I never played it. This is a game that I've waited for decades and I've never played it. Diablo Immortal came out. When Diablo Immortal was announced, I talked about it, and I made like a 7-part series video where I talked about like the fall of Blizzard and how this was completely and utterly ridiculous. And if you guys remember at the time, there were a bunch of people defending and saying, oh, it's going to be awesome, it's going to be great, it's going to be Diablo, but on mobile. There were actually a bunch of people saying that. As a matter of fact, there's still a bunch of people saying that. And, you know, therefore I figured, okay, I'm going to go play this game. And I'm going to go play it a significant chunk. Now, you guys might look here and you see the number 1. And you guys might think, oh, wow, Rurikhan, great. You played, what, 5 minutes? You're level 1? This is not level 1. This is Paragon Level 1. That means that I'm level 60 and I've leveled up 1 level in Paragon. The reason I wanted to level up 1 point in Paragon is because I wanted to see what the Paragon system was like, because you have to be at least level 1 Paragon to have access to the Paragon system so that I could see if there were any pay-to-win aspects here. And the reasoning why I did this is because there's actually quite a few aspects of pay-to-win that are not apparent to someone just booting up the game for a couple of hours. Blizzard has actually taken the time to hide pay-to-win deep into the game and slowly unlocking it so that you don't get bombarded with pay-to-win just as you jump into the game. You get bombarded with pay-to-win slowly over time as you play through the game, because this is also a psychological manipulation tactic in case you guys were not aware of that. So a lot of this game hinges on psychological manipulation, and that is one of the reasons why it was so important for me to talk about this, because that not just to talk about this, but to show people what this is, because I want to ensure that the least amount of people get exposed to this type of psychological manipulation, unless that is something that you actually want. Now, some people might come out of the woodwork and say, Rurikhan, this has been getting done in the mobile industry since forever. Why do you care about this? Because this is Diablo. Okay, even though this is a mobile game or whatever, even though I'm playing it on PC, but yes, it is a mobile game and has all the trappings of mobile games and free to play and all of that bullshit, it carries the Diablo name on it. And therefore, it is appealing to the Diablo audience. And as a part of that audience, I felt it was my duty to inform people as to just how bullshit this whole thing is. So for starters, one of the things that I've seen a lot of people say is that, oh man, it's a shame there's so much monetization because there's actually a really good Diablo underneath it all. And my question is, by which fucking standard? A good Diablo game? What? I mean, I'll entertain the idea of a decent mobile ARPG if you want to talk about that, but a good Diablo game? You're crazy. But anyways, I'll actually show you guys a little bit of gameplay so that you guys can see what the gameplay is like and why I personally feel that this is not a particularly good Diablo game. I don't even feel like this is a particularly good ARPG to begin with. It does, however, have very beautiful art, very good animations. The soundtrack, however, leaves a lot to be desired when compared to its predecessors like Diablo 2, even Diablo 3. Were much better than whatever the hell this is. Like, they clearly skimped when it came to the soundtrack as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to be jumping into an Elder Rift because it's just an easy way for me to showcase gameplay. And Elder Rift is also one of those things that is extremely pay to win. So to give you guys an idea, you can add these crests to, you know, increase your chances at getting loot. But this is another misconception that a lot of people have, which is they think that, oh, you go into the Elder Rift because in the Elder Rifts you can get legendary gems. It's just if you put in the legendary crests or the rare quests, that increases your chances. Wrong. You never get legendary gems unless you put in a crest. It never happens. It's impossible. Okay. And even if you do put in a quest, your chances are still extremely limited. So for starters, if you put in rare quests, which these are the ones that you get more easily when you are playing free to play, because I already spent all of my legendary quests that I got free to play, because I would not spend a single dime on this game. So putting these in is going to increase the number of rewards that you get in terms of these runes, as well as the rewards that you get in terms of these embers. Now, these embers can actually be used to gamble a chance at getting a good rune, but you need an ungodly amount of them. To give you guys an idea, I've been playing this whole time, and I'm currently sitting on 322 of these ashes, and I need about 396 to be able to gamble on one legendary gem. Okay, but anyways, we're gonna go in here, and you can do this as a party if you want to. You can do it solo, just so that I can show you guys what the gameplay of the game is like. Now, I've played as a Crusader because you guys know I like shields, so therefore having a character that has a shield made sense. So in here, you're going to get like modifiers and stuff depending on how many things you put into it. Monster dodge chance gets 50%. Monster attack from behind are always critical hits. Oh wow, so nice. Choose bonus attribute. I want spinning shield hovers at a location. Spinning shield now bounces between several enemies instead of returning to you. Judgment implodes after. Yeah, just do this. Sure. And let's go in. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to start murdering things. And it's like, I want you to understand that the gameplay here is basically me spamming 4 buttons and left clicking. And the game, for starters, controls like complete ass. I think the volume's a little bit loud here. I'll lower it for the purpose of the review, because I don't want the volume of the game to be overpowering me. It's like, the game, for starters, controls like ass with mouse and keyboard, and you guys are like, well, that's normal. It's built for a mobile interface. And yes, you are entirely correct. It is built for a mobile interface. You guys are like, well, Rurikhan, I thought you liked playing games with gamepads. Why don't you use a gamepad to play the game? And it's like, that's because I can't. It doesn't work. For some strange reason, the same gamepad setup that I used to play Monster Hunter Rise, Final Fantasy XIV, and any other game that I play on this PC, which is I use an 8-bit DOE with a DualShock 4 because it allows me to set dead zones and do a whole lot of other bullshit. That setup simply does not work with Diablo Immortal. Don't ask me why. There's massive input delay. The game is literally unplayable if I put in a controller, which would probably make for a much better experience. But because I'm stuck playing mouse and keyboard, let me tell you, the game controls like absolute ass. There's plenty of times that I'm trying to move and the character will just get stuck attacking enemies. There's plenty of times that you're trying to click to get the character to move somewhere, even though you're not in combat or there aren't enemies there, and there's just like some kind of invisible bullshit that doesn't allow you to click on that specific location. I don't know. I seem to remember the developer saying, oh, it plays great on mouse and keyboard. No, it fucking doesn't. It plays like complete absolute ass, and I have no idea who in the fuck has the standards to say that, oh no, it plays great on mouse and keyboard. No, it doesn't. But again, keep in mind, the bulk of this gameplay, and this has been the bulk of the gameplay since 5 minutes playing into the game, up until like what I would assume is probably 30 or 40 hours playing the game. It's basically me spamming the same 4 buttons and hitting left click. Now, can I change builds? Yes, I can. Can I upgrade gear? Yes, I can. Do skills change? Yes, they do. The little spinning swords thing that I have, that's a special thing for my legendary weapon that I have. That changes that skill to work differently, which is great. And yeah, you can do some interesting builds and all of that, but at the end of the day, guess what your gameplay is going to be like? You're basically spamming the same 4 buttons nonstop and murdering enemies. Now, there's some slight variations. Sometimes you might be spamming 3 buttons instead, and then pressing button number 4 is like a cooldown or something like that, or like a movement ability. But overall, there's 4 abilities that you're going to be spamming, and there's left clicking, and that's about it. There's not even an option for you to like shift click so that you can attack in place. No, you have to physically click the mobs, which, by the way, not sure if you can see how big this fucking cursor is. It ain't much, all right? It ain't much. It's not big at all. And me and my old 39-year-old man eyes, I lose sight of this cursor all the goddamn time. I end up clicking the map by mistake. I click other things by mistake. Like, to give you guys an idea, this mobile UI is so fucking bad that if you happen to be attempting a more challenging rift, the game gives you a warning like, oh, by the way, there's challenging enemies where you are. Like, there's a an exclamation mark down here in the middle. If you click that, there's a pop-up. If you click like in several sections, like if you click here, it's like you want to leave. No, there's pop-ups everywhere if you happen to misclick on account of the fact that you can't see the fucking cursor because there's so much shit happening and there's not like a high contrast option or even just an option to, you know, go ahead and increase the size of it. So here's the boss of this particular rift. We're going to go ahead and beat the shit out of it, and you guys will have a decent idea of what the gameplay in this game is like. Now, there's levels that have a little bit more bells and whistles, like you might have seen the level where you were on a raft. We've done that. Yeah, sure, it's fine. It's got a little bit more bells and whistles, but ultimately, the gameplay boils down to exactly what you are seeing here. As you can see, even though I'm being able to dodge most of these telegraphs, it's a pain in the ass to do it with a mouse because sometimes you'll want to move and you'll click the boss. And this is actually a small boss because sometimes there are bosses that are off screen, you know? So we finished it. Now let's see. Would you look at that? We did not get a legendary gem despite the fact that we put in 3 rare crests. There were absolutely no legendary gems whatsoever. Great. That was fantastic. That about sums up the free-to-play experience. Now, if you go ahead and you go look at the Asmongold clip where he does this, and instead of putting like 3 of these suckers, which are the rare crests, right? Because rare crests are limited to 3. And looking at the interface, you would assume that legendary crests are limited to 3 as well. But no, you'd be wrong, because if you happen to have legendary crests, which like I said, I do not have, I'm not going to buy them, I don't give a fuck. If you happen to have legendary crests, you can actually stack up to 10. And what does that mean? That is 10 guaranteed legendary gems. As opposed to me using the poor man's crest, I basically slotted 3 of these in for 3 times 10% chance of getting a weak-ass gem, and I got absolutely fuck all for it, which is great. It's a fantastic system as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you guys. I think it's great. But anyways, so talking about this, you guys at this point have seen the gameplay. You guys know what the game is like to play, which I don't think is a particularly good experience to begin with, but I did subject myself to the entirety of it. I will, however, give credit where credit is due, and that is to say that I think the art is gorgeous. I think the game looks fantastic, particularly for a mobile game. This is a fantastic looking game. I think that the animations are really good. The cinematics are okay. They're nothing like to write home about. I mean, if you've seen Diablo 3, you know what the cinematics of this are like. And like I said, the actual soundtrack is not that great. Now, where do the predatory things come into play? So, number one, when it comes to predatory monetization in this game, there are 5 level walls that I've hit. These are experience walls that you do not have to hit if you happen to use the battle pass. Now there's a battle pass system, obviously, because this is a free-to-play game. So, you know, you're expected to see a battle pass. Let me actually go into the codex because that shows you what the battle pass looks like. So this is your battle pass experience. This is season 1. Season 1 ends in about 29 days. This is how far I've made it, which is to level 19. The battle pass goes all the way up to level what? I actually don't know because I haven't seen. Jesus Christ. Goes all the way up to level 40, at which point you will get a gift of renown for every 180 battle points earned. But, so you got this battle pass, right? And you'll get these rewards as you play through the game. Every time that you fill up the battle pass, by the way, you also get a huge chunk of EXP. Why is this important? Because like I said, there are actual XP walls. So by the time you get around level 30, you're going to hit an XP wall where they don't let you experience the story until you grind up to level 35. So that's like XP wall number 1. You're going to have to grind to 35. Now, I've pointed down the ones that I've hit, which was the 35 one, the level 41, because, you know, after the 35 one, you do a couple of story quests, then they hamstring you again. They go like, okay, now you need to reach level 40. So that's a level 40 XP wall. Then there's a level 51 XP wall. Then there's a level 56 XP wall. And then finally, shortly after the 56 wall, there is a level 60 wall. So to give you guys an idea, I first hit the level 56 wall, then I did the story quest of level 56, did not level up once, and then I hit a level 60 XP wall. And the reason I did the level 60 XP wall was because I was curious to see if there was any more story. There isn't. The game doesn't actually end. And in terms of story, if you guys are curious, how do I feel about the story? It's a terrible story. Basically, this story, what it tells you is that Tyrael was an idiot. When he decided to destroy the World Stone back in Diablo 2, he caused all kinds of chaos, despite the fact that if you see that cinematic, you see Tyrael shattering the World Stone, and it breaks into a million pieces. Diablo Immortal says, well, we only need to focus on 4 of those. 4 of those pieces are apparently ridiculously powerful, and everybody's chasing after them, and they're gaining ridiculous amounts of power. So your job is to collect these shards of the World Stone, which, you know, ended up on Sanctuary because of Blizzard, because of Tyrael's incompetency, and you basically have to fix it by destroying it. By the way, by the time you get to the end of the game, by the time, you know, you get to the final stretch of the story, Diablo shows up. But they don't really resolve that. It's just like, well, Diablo's back. Now go grind and do the same shit you've been doing over the last 60 levels. That's the story of this game. It's completely fucking atrocious, and it basically just spits all over Tyrael, which is, you know, whatever, whether you care about that or not. I'm going to leave that to each and every one of you. So the story is also trash. So is it worse? Is it worth playing the game for the story? Hell no. It's not worth playing the game for the story, and on top of it, they're going to constantly aggravate you in terms of these XP walls. Now, that is not the only wall that you will hit, though, because as you play through the game, you will eventually... Let's navigate here to the square. You will eventually be able to unlock something, which are raids. Now, I've only unlocked the first raid boss because I'm not interested in playing this for the long haul and the end game and all of that stuff. I was just interested in figuring out just how deep the rabbit hole goes, right? So there's this raid that you will eventually unlock that allows you to fight LaSalle the Flame Spun. Now, you see this part here that says recommended combat rating 420, right? 420. You want to know what the combat rating was that I had by the time that I hit this raid? I was about 300 combat rating. Don't believe me? Go back and watch the live streams because I did all this shit live. So, Fallen Tooth, thank you very much for being grossing with us for 4 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. No, we're not going to be spending any money on this. But like I said, so we were at 300 combat rating. This was another wall that we hit. And this is actually really important because this actually completing this raid contributes to your player power, because everything that you do in this game contributes to your player power in some way. But basically that's another wall that you hit, and this is a wall that you can overcome by, you know, power leveling yourself through, say, the battle pass, for instance, because you're going to be getting extra loot if you power level yourself through the battle pass in the form of, like, there are these things that unlock additional power for you, which also increase your combat rating. This is actually a cosmetic weapon. But if you go to the collector's version of it, where is it? Gotta go shop. We actually don't have access to see what the collector's version of it looks like, but if you go to the empowered, you can see here, you're gonna get even more shit. Some of these are cosmetic, some of these are not. But basically, you can then also pay to skip levels, which also increases your combat rating. So basically, there's ways to up your combat rating, whether through this or through legendary stones, whether through the Boon of Plenty, which we'll talk about all of these as well. But there's ways in which you can basically increase your combat rating to overcome that gap. So like I said, there's 5 different experience walls that you will hit as you play through this game casually. And then on top of it, you will hit the wall of this raid as well. And like I said, this will also give you player power in the form of the Heliquary here. And in case you guys are wondering what it does, this right here, yeah, just this thing gives me combat rating plus 48. And then this thing gives me plus 30 combat rating. And on top of it, it also gives me 10% attack speed if I'm doing challenge rifts. And this one gives what? Critical hit chance plus 10% if you're doing challenge rifts. And this is also upgradable through another shady fucking currency. Like everything in this game is through shady currencies. Now, this currency, I actually have not been able to find a way to get it by paying real money. I'm not sure if that means that there isn't a way or if I simply didn't look hard enough. But yeah, you need to get like Scoria, and I don't know exactly how to go about getting Scoria at this point because there's just so many different upgrade systems that you will actually get fucking confused. It's almost like a flashbang lands in front of you with all the different ways to upgrade. Now, not everything is bad. I want to show you guys a couple of good systems that, just to let you guys know that there's actually some developers in the middle of this game that were thinking about the proper player experience. So one of those systems is the gear upgrade system. So if you go here to services, you can upgrade your gear. Now, the reason this is really cool is because, say for instance, okay, there's this hammer that I have and I upgrade it up to level 5, right? As a matter of fact, I can upgrade it again. Let's go ahead and do that. Whatever. Boom. Now it's upgraded to level 6. And the guy's like, well, yeah, but when you want to equip that weapon, like it goes away. No. That's actually something that is really cool. If you get an upgrade, you can transfer everything, if you get like a better item, you can transfer all of these upgrades to the new item. Same thing for all of the things that you upgrade here. Whenever you get an upgrade, basically the rank level gets passed on to the new item, and you can do this automatically without even coming to the blacksmith. So like you just equip an item, say for instance, okay, I'll equip this, right? I'm not going to equip this, but you could. And you could basically, I mean, this is a white item, so it's not going to let me do it. But, you know, if you get an item of comparable power, it lets you transfer the ranking that you have on your chest piece to that item. Like for instance, here's an example. This ring is better than the ring that I have right here. And the ring that I have right here, is it upgraded? It's not, but it's got gems. And basically you do this, you equip, and if the ring was more powerful, it would transfer the power of the previous ring to the new ring. And it is actually a good system. This is one of the very few good systems that this game has. Also, we got some boots in here that I haven't really socketed. Let's get some more armor penetration. Okay. So the upgrade system, I actually think, is a good thing. The gear upgrade system is a good thing. Reforge, I actually haven't messed around with this, so I'm not even going to talk too much about it, but whatever. Another really good system that you have in here is the essence transfer system. Now, this is also something that was present in a certain way in Diablo 3. I don't remember exactly how it worked. It involved the Roderick Cube, but basically, the way that this works is whenever you have a legendary item, you can basically break the legendary item and get the special effect of that legendary item, and then you can apply it to another legendary item. So for instance, I have these shoulders right now, right? And they have the Faith Ascendant thing, which gives me this legendary affix that I wanted. But this is not the actual thing that is in my armor. My armor is actually this one, original, Spine of the Adversary. Sacred Chain also causes chained enemies to take a percentage of all damage taken by any other chained enemy with longer stuns. But instead of that, I applied a different one, which gives me this. And you can do this for free for any legendary that you unlock, which is really good. It doesn't cost like a specific currency or anything like that. You just come in here and you transfer your legendary stuff willy-nilly and it just works. So this is a good thing, right? These are two really good systems that they put in this game because, you know, I just wanted to give you guys the good stuff just because there are a couple of good things in the game. So now let me show you guys the bad things because there's obviously way more bad things in the game. So number one, there is something called a charm system. So the charm system is this right here, Ornate Charm. This is actually rank 4. And the way that this works is you get like a skill bonus on a charm, and you know, usually it'll be for one of the classes. So in this case, I had this charm that increased my consecration damage by 2%, and I decided, you know what? I want to upgrade this thing so that it gives me more more skills for my class. But guess what? It's complete scumbaggery. When you start upgrading your charm, first it gave me a Shield of Zen for Monk, which is very useful when you pair it together with Consecration. Then it gave me a Furious Charge for Barbarian, which is also very useful when you pair it together with Consecration, right? Because, I mean, you know, we're playing a Crusader, so all of these skills very useful for us. Then I did it again, and it gave me a Crossbow Shot for Demon Hunter. Like, understand that in the 3 upgrades that I did to this fucking charm, not 2 of them were for the same fucking class. But that's fine. Whatever. Just a small little thing. You know, it's whatever, right? Not really a big problem. Whatever. Who cares, right? Now, let's talk more. Because let's talk about the talk of the town, and the talk of the town is legendary gems. How do legendary gems work? Because that's what everybody wants to talk about, right? So I have a bunch of legendary gems on me. And like I said, at the start of this video, you saw me go on an Elder Rift because I was trying to get a legendary gem. And if you use the rare chance, the rare crest, the poor man's crest, basically, there's a very low chance of you potentially getting a legendary gem that is capped at 1 or 2 stars. Remember that, 1 or 2 stars. Now, if you look at my legendary gems, 2-star one, 1 star, 2 stars. This 2 stars, by the way, everybody gets it. The Lightning Core, every person gets it. This is like a freebie that they give you as part of you playing the game. Everybody gets a Lightning Core. Then you have Black Rose, Tier 1, Everlasting Torment, Tier 1, Defiant Soul, Tier 1. So I have 1 Tier 2, which is limited to 2. It can't be any more than this. And everything else is Tier 1 minus the one that they gave me for free. So these gems can go all the way up to 5 stars, which makes them significantly more powerful, as you can imagine. On top of it, it also increases your resonance, which, if you see what resonance does, increases equipment and base attributes by 9.75%. Now, I have very low resonance. Why do I have low resonance? Because I don't have good gems. The more powerful these gems become, the more resonance you get. The more resonance you get, the more powerful your stats become passively. And this is the big Gamba thing that everybody's talking about, because basically you buy, you buy however many of these there are, which are like, you go to the shop and you come over here to currencies, you buy like 99 of this bullshit, which gives you 7,200 of these eternal orbs. Then you go to crests and you buy 10 of these, you buy a fuck ton of these, and then you go and you can just get, legendary gem after legendary gem after legendary gem after legendary gem, and just become more and more powerful. Basically, infinite power gain, right? Because again, resonance affects base stats. It basically affects the entirety of your gear. So they made this in a way where these gems that are basically pay to win, and by the way, as a free-to-play player, you will almost never see a more than 2-star legendary gem, because you can have 2 legendary crests for free per month. 2. And you have to complete the battle pass to get one of them. So you can get 2 legendary crests, which gives you a chance at potentially getting a gem that can be a 5-star, like on a 1 out of 2,000 chance or something like that. And those gems directly contribute to the base stats of your equipment, thus obviously making you exponentially more powerful. So if you're a Giga Whale, like, you don't even have a chance. Like, listen, I've played PvP in this game, and I've been, hit by a whale, and being a very defensive crusader, it doesn't fucking matter. The whale cut through me like a warm knife through butter, right? It's just like, bam! It's just like it slammed me with this massive fucking wallet, and it crushed me like a bug. Okay? It doesn't matter how much you fucking grind. If you play free to play, you're never going to catch up to a whale. Okay? It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay? But listen, this ain't even everything. Okay? And there's, like, right now, there is a number being thrown around, which came from a Bellular video, even though Bellular got it from, like, a Reddit post or whatever. And it's $110,000 or whatever. It's actually more. It can be significantly more. Like, $110,000 is super conservative. It can go anywhere from $200,000 to $500,000 to potentially even just like a full-blown $1 million. And all of the streamers that are out there fucking wailing on this game, go have your laughs and do all of that shit. Just remember, you're basically funding this. That's the way that I look at it. And I know that, some people are going to look at this and going to be like, oh, no, it doesn't work like that. By the way, thanks for unpausing the video, Asman. Whatever. But besides the point, you're still contributing to it, whether it's $100 here, $200 there. And not only that, but as a streamer, you end up influencing people. Your behavior influences people, even if it is all for the lulz. Even if it's just like 100 people in your audience go like, for the lulz, I'm going to do it too. It's all for the lulz. Yeah, it's for the lulz. And Blizzard's like, with the lulz, Blizzard is just like fucking lining their goddamn pockets. Anyways, continuing onwards, because this is not the end of it. Because you thought that is where the pay to win ends. No, my friends. We have so much more pay to win to come and do. Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Just playing this game, you're still contributing to this shit? Not really. I have to play the game so that I can talk about it, so that I understand how it works. So here's another thing this unlocks as you play through the game. You will eventually find a legendary item that grants you access to this chest. There's a quest associated with it, and once a day you can come to this dungeon and you'll kill a bunch of dudes, and you're going to get special keys. You guys like, what are these keys for? And I will show you what these keys are for. But the keys is not even what's important. What's important, like you see right there, aspirant's key and another aspirant's key. You want to do this once a day. I mean, if you end up playing this piece of gutter trash, you want to end up doing this once a day, right? You come in here, you kill these dudes, you collect these keys. once you finish this, you're going to be led into a treasure room. This doesn't take too long. This is not challenging at all. Very much like crests, right? Crests are not challenging because crests are essentially, not crests, Elder Rifts. They're not challenging because they're essentially a goddamn loot box, you know? After you've paid your money, Blizzard can't have you fail the fucking loot box. I mean, that would just be completely and utterly fucking unreasonable, right? So, you go through here. Wow, this is actually a big one. There's a lot of dudes here. I'm genuinely surprised. Did not expect to see this many of them. But as you can see, the keys are few and far between. Like, we got a couple keys at the start there, and that was it. Although I already bought a couple of keys, I'll show you guys a vendor where you can buy these keys after we do this. But we're going to be spending these keys, but not just. Because, you know, when you run out of keys to open chests, what are you going to do? What are you going to... You think Blizzard's going to be like, well, you know, come back tomorrow because you don't have enough keys? No. If you don't have enough keys, don't even worry about it, brother. Blizzard's got your back, dude. You just got to pull out your wallet, swipe, and you can keep on trucking like nobody's business. Like no tomorrow, dude. I'm actually surprised it's taking so long. Usually this particular activity takes significantly less, but let's go ahead. There's also a couple of champions here today. But yeah, at the end of this, we'll get to a treasure. Let me just grab all this stuff. I don't even know how many keys we have at this point, but the game will tell us. Let's kill these dudes. And here we go. We're at the treasure room now, right? This should be the treasure room, Aspirant's Grounds. Yep. And as you can see, we now enter this treasure room. This treasure room has 4 chests. 4 chests in the portal for you to exit. So, with the keys that we got there, plus the keys that I've purchased using hilts, which is a currency that you can get by playing free to play. So the first one's free. It's like the drugs, right? The first hit is free. And it drops you. Ooh, what's this barrel? Garnet Sapphire. Nice. You know, you get a couple of these gems, and you're like, what are these gems for? I'm about to show you what these gems are for. This is going to be great. You guys are going to love it. So we have 12 keys. The first chest costs 1 key. Nice. Okay, we'll pick these up. Next chest costs 2 keys. You see where this is going. I mean, come on. This is it is what it is, right? The next chest costs 4 keys. And this one, as you can see, gives you more of the resource that we're getting here. And then the final chest is like, well, you don't have enough keys, brother. And let me tell you something. It's always the final chest, okay? It's textbook psychological manipulation. The last chest has always been the one that I never have enough keys to open. It's always like this. Sometimes it's even on this one that I don't have enough keys to open, but that's fine. So we get to the last chest and like, well, you don't have enough keys. You have to open it with platinum. What is platinum? Well, platinum is something that you can go to the shop and first you go to currency and you buy one of these eternal orbs and then you can go to, what the hell? No, I don't actually want to buy it, dude. I was joking. And then you can go and you can exchange some of those orbs for platinum, right? It's a halfway currency. But you can also get some platinum by playing through the game and doing certain objectives. It's extremely limited, as you can imagine, but you can get platinum. But basically, the idea here, the important part that you need to understand is that you can whale platinum, right? You whale platinum and you're like, okay, we'll open this fucking chest for me. By the way, bear in mind, this door right here, closed, right? Treasure room, closed door, portal. So you pick up the shit and you leave. Or you open all the chests. That was 400 platinum. Bear in mind, in all of my time of playing this game, I had like 900. Okay? Just used 400 to make this point. Then you come over here, and it's like, oh, what's this? There's another room. And look at that. There's more chests. Oh my. I was like, hey, you can open this with platinum. It costs you 500. Sure thing, buddy. Let's fucking go. Now, if I had invested money into the game, I could whale and I could open all of these fucking chests right here. And bear in mind, just like the previous room, there's another door over here. Now, I've never made it past this room because I'm not a fucking whale and I'm not about to put one single fucking dime in this goddamn scam of a fucking video game. But if I was to do that, guess what would be in the next room? I mean, I'm going to leave you guys to guess, but I'm going to assume it'd be another room with 4 more chests and another door, and they would incrementally give me more and more of those gems that I just got. And now you guys are like, okay, Rurikhan, you keep talking a big game about these fucking gems. The fuck are these gems for? Well, let me show you. Dude, I'll just show you right now, dude. Right now. So there's this thing right here in the middle, this little shrine. Now, this shrine, there's a couple of legendary items that you will encounter, okay? You're going to be encountering these legendary items as you play through the game. Actually, I encountered one recently before this stream. Not before this stream, during this stream. Which was the Guilt of the Nameless. We're going to place this. Now, look at this. Bonuses. Okay, there's, sure, give me an animation with a little statue. You're like, oh, yay, you unlocked another thing. Yay, yeah, we're all so happy. It's fucking amazing, right? But look at this. These are passive bonuses that this little structure is giving to me. Right now, it's giving me 16 damage, 27 armor, 27 armor penetration, plus 9 potency, and plus 27 resistance. And then you see the gems that we've been picking up. Look at that. We got 47 of the red ones. Ooh, we got 48 of the blue ones. We got 125 of the green ones. Now, bear in mind, we could have gotten a lot more of these had I spent some money to get some Eternal Orbs to transform to Platinum to open the rest of those chests. But we didn't do that. So, let's see what we can do here, right? We got this blue one. This blue one's going to require some blue stuff. This one does what? Armor penetration. I'd actually prefer to upgrade this one, but I'm not because I don't have enough gems for this one because we're poor, right? We're not a whale. You know, we're a little dolphin. We're not even a dolphin. We're like a little worm. We're the worm to bait the whales in. But, and I guess worms don't really bait whales, whatever. But then we can use the blue ones on this one. We can also use the red ones on this one. So the red ones will straight up just increase our damage. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Who doesn't want more damage? Boom! Tal Rasha's authority, baby. Boom! 24 more damage. This is great. Next level is going to be 32, by the way. It keeps going up and up and up. Doesn't stop. So if we had opened more chests, we'd had more of these red things to upgrade some more. Then we have this one. 18 resistance. I mean, more defense. Why the fuck not, dude? Give me more defense. Boom! 18 resistance. Let's fucking go. 36, actually. Holy shit, look at all this resistance. Yeah, make me tankier. Let's go again. Boom! Yes, indeed. More stats, man. Let's go one more. Boom! Fuck yeah, dude. Increase my resistance. Look at that. Plus 81 resistance. This is great, dude. Can we do more? Can we do more? No, we don't have that. We have this one. 9 potency and more resistance. Let's fucking go, Jared Kane's. More stats for free. Now imagine if you wailed on this shit, how many more stats you'd be able to get on top of the stats that you already get for wailing on the other bullshit as well. Isn't this game great? Isn't this game fucking fantastic, dude? This game's amazing, man. I fucking love this game. This game's really good. I love it. I think that this is great consumer value. So, now you guys are like, okay, Rurikhan, but you finished the story and whatnot. Like, you know, what's the end game of this like? Well, the end game is you go around, you kill shit, you do rifts for the gemstones, and there's obviously activities out in the open world. Like, for instance, one of the really cool things is that if we go here onto the Codex and, you know, you go to activities, it will actually tell you, you know, certain dungeons, there's a bonus to those dungeons in order to get set items, which is what you want to get by the time you get to the end. They're going to give you one set item for free when you finish the game. In my case, I got the Wind Trods of Shalbas or whatever. And you want to get more of those. You want to get set items because obviously you want to do your builds and shit. So you look over here and you're like, okay, so what's the best way to get set items? You go to the Codex, you start looking at the activities that you got here and shit. Like, oh man, this is good. So this one right here, Temple of Namari, this is going to give me bonus chance, bonus set and legendary drops if you do them on the Hell 1 difficulty. This is the difficulty that you unlock when you get to level 60, right? It's like, oh, this is good, dude. Let's go get, let's get a legendary set, right? This seems reasonable. So I want to go do Temple of Namari. So you click here, instantly teleports you there. It's freaking fantastic. I love the navigation system. It just straight up does everything for you. Like, look, I don't even have to touch the game for it to play itself, right? Because like I clicked the button, I said, take me to the dungeon, and the game's just going to straight up take me to the dungeon. Because, you don't want to actually play a Diablo game. You want the Diablo game to fucking play itself. This is like them introducing you slowly to the idea of you not even controlling the character as it's navigating to the instance, so that eventually they can just get, they're going to introduce you to the idea of, well, why don't I just like hit another button and the character just plays itself with an optimal rotation? Why the fuck not, right? So here we go. It's taken us straight to the instance. This becomes unlocked every time that you finish a zone. Because I finished all the zones, I basically have this unlocked for every single zone. So here we are at the instance, and you're like, okay, well, let's go do our grinding, right? Oh. You can't solo dungeons on hell difficulty. And you want to know why? You want to know why you can't solo dungeons on hell difficulty? Because they want you to be exposed to other players. I mean, I could easily find a party because I could see that there's a bunch of people actually doing this dungeon, so you can find a party. But earlier, I was actually in a dungeon that there just wasn't enough people doing that dungeon. It was actually this one. Earlier, I was here, and there was not enough people here, and I actually couldn't do the dungeon. I wanted to go grind to get a set piece, and I literally couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. So why do they want this? They want this so that you will potentially get paired with whales, so that you can see the whales just like trouncing everything with sheer raw damage and destroying everything with their fucking legendary gems. And you on the other side, you're probably going to get fucking stomped by something that's maybe a little bit too high level. Even though, in terms of difficulty, if you're playing on PC, this game is piss easy. This game is completely and absolutely a fucking joke when it comes to difficulty. Even on hell difficulty, I can go through the whole fucking game, no problem whatsoever. It is piss easy. But the idea here is you'll see some of those, fucking cosmetics. You'll see some of that shit and you'll be like, oh man, look at the shit that this guy's got. This is awesome. I should get that. It's just for basically, and also for the whales to be able to do it. Because you know that whales, they want to be able to fucking throw their weight around and actually just show you, oh no, you poor little fishy, look at me with my big fucking whale shit destroying everything, right? It's all about psychological manipulation. And while we're on the topic of psychological manipulation, for all of you fucking defenders out there of this game, because I know that there's a lot of you always coming up in my comment section, why do you care? It's a mobile game. If you don't like it, don't play it. I care because this is going to bleed into Diablo 4 100%, because like, why the fuck wouldn't it? Do you have any idea how much money this goddamn game is going to make? It's going to be completely and utterly disgusting, and it's going to be doing it through psychological manipulation. And for everyone that defends these types of practices that I'm about to show you, because I'm going to show you how everything works in this game. I mean, I've already showed you a large chunk of it, but I'm going to show you the rest of the store here. And for anybody that defends this, I want you to know that you're essentially defending the equivalent of, like, imagine that I was able to mass hypnotize anybody that watched this video. And I would hypnotize these people and force them to give me like their life savings. Do you think that would be an ethical practice if I had this power? That I'd just be able to like convince everybody that is watching my live stream right now, or anybody that ends up watching this video, or if some streamer reacts to this video, that I would be able to hypnotize them and take thousands of dollars away from their accounts by, because hypnosis is basically manipulation of the mind. You think that would be an ethical thing to do? Because that's essentially what Blizzard does here. So let's take a look at it, shall we? So number one, let's take a look at the season pass, right? I showed you guys the season pass. There's the free track of it. If we go to the codex, we can see the free track right here. And as you can see, it is, look, I've hypnotized someone already. I hypnotized Gosper84, and he's already feeding money into me. Gosper, thank you very much for being Rose and Ganesson for 30 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Now, if you look at the free track of this pass, it's mostly shit. Like you got these like hilts and shit, and not to mention everybody gets the free version, even the premium dudes, right? Then there's the empowered version of the battle pass that comes with obviously a cosmetic item so that you can whale it around against everybody else. It comes with a legendary gem, a 2-star legendary gem. Now, I'm not saying you're straight up buying power if you buy the empowered battle pass, but I'm also not saying you're not. It comes with Scoria, which is oh, there we go, we found it. Remember earlier I was saying I didn't know how you get the Scoria? It is pay to win. Earlier I was talking about the reliquary, and I was like, oh yeah, this reliquary thing. Remember, guys, I told you earlier that I was like, oh yeah, I don't know how you get the materials to upgrade these things. Refined from Scoria. Where do you get that? In the fucking battle pass. Of course, because that makes perfect sense. So you get that, which directly translates into power. More so, directly translates into competitive power, because you're talking about power that gets even more enhanced for, whatchamacallit, For challenge rifts, which are supposedly the thing where, you're competing for, it's a competition of skill. No, it's a competition of how big your fucking wallet is. Let's just be real about it, right? Then you also get additional gems. You get more rare crests. You also get the keys. Remember the keys that we're talking about to open those chests that give those gems that will further upgrade your stats? You get those in the empowered version of the battle pass. There's a legendary crest as well, which is perfectly fine. More keys, more scoria. Everything translates into fucking power. All of these items directly translate into fucking power. And remember, you can also pay to skip. You can pay to skip the fucking thing to just get the power now, so that you don't even have to play the goddamn game. You can just pay to skip. You can pay to empower it, and then you can pay to skip it. And then on top of that, because, that just wouldn't be enough. You got your regular battle pass. That's battle pass number 1. Now, let's go ahead and go into the shop again, because that wasn't enough. Of course, Blizzard's like, you have your empowered battle pass, but do you have your collector's empowered battle pass? Which is basically another track of rewards that I can't... Can I even see those? Empowered... I don't even know if I can see the other rewards or whatever, but you get more. You get all empowered track rewards. Oh, okay, never mind. So this is basically the Giga Skip. This is the Giga Skip of the empowered battle pass, but that's not enough. That's just not enough. I mean, you think that'd be enough? No. Then there's the Boon of Plenty, which basically every single day you get a bunch more. Look, another fucking legendary gem. And you might be like, well, that's the same legendary gem that you're getting on the battle pass. That's not very valuable. You can infuse it into other gems to increase their ranking, because you didn't think that gems would just stick to stars. No, there's stars, and then there's ranking on top of it as well, because we're not done with legendary gems just yet. Let me just finish explaining the rest of this battle pass. Then we're going to be talking about the rest of the legendary gems. Then you got legendary, rare crests, 30 of them. You got a bunch of gems, and you get obviously an inventory expansion so that you have more slots. You get, you get remote access to the market. You get more market trade slots, and you can basically buy this 3 times so that you can stack it up to 90 days so that you don't have to buy it, every month, because Blizzard doesn't want to inconvenience you by buying it only once. Just buy it like 3 times, stack up 3 months, boom, done. So that's another battle pass, but that ain't it. Blizzard doesn't think that just this is going to be enough. So there's another one that most people never even get to, because of the fact that this one only unlocks when you get to level 45. So most people see the battle pass, collector's empowered battle pass, Boon of Plenty, but they never actually get to see the Prodigy's Path. So the Prodigy's Path, there's a free track as well, but it's basically another battle pass. As you can see, this one is directly tied to your level. So it starts at level 45. You get 200 scrap material, 200 of these. This is like the free track that I've been doing. And it goes all the way up to level 60. And then it goes every 5 Paragon levels all the way up to Paragon level 85. And as you can see, there's a couple of crappy rewards you can get here. But obviously, if you go with the Prodigy's Path, you're going to get legendary crests along the way so that you can go grind more legendary decos. And of course, some more scoria, because you don't want your Heliquary falling behind, right? You want to keep upgrading it and pumping things into it to make you more powerful in challenge rifts. The thing that is supposed to be a challenge, the thing that is supposed to be a demonstration of skill, you want to keep becoming more and more powerful while you're doing those things, of course. So therefore, you're going to pull out your wallet to show everybody just how skilled you are, because that makes perfect sense. That's 400% extra value, which is fucking fantastic. But that's not it. You think this was over? No, man. Of course not. Of course this isn't over. We're just getting started. So as you play through the game, you're going to dungeons just as a normal part of your questing and leveling experience, right? You're going to go and do dungeons. So you go into the codex, and in the codex, you can see here in the activities, okay, there's all these dungeons, and as you complete dungeons, you're going to get rewards and stuff. But you want to know what is the best reward for completing a dungeon? Let me show you guys what's the best reward for completing a dungeon. Every single time you complete a dungeon, Blizzard are such nice guys that they're going to sell you a bonus loot box. because they're just nice like that. They just want to give you as much value as possible. And look at how much psychological manipulation that is on this. So the first one is the beginner's pack. So this is before you actually do any of these dungeons, okay? So when you open the store, the first time that you come into the game, you don't actually see any of this shit that I have here. You don't see any of this. All you see is the free daily reward that you get every day for logging in for free and the beginner's pack. So you look at the beginner's pack and like, okay, so it says, okay, we got 60 eternal orbs and we got an Inferno Within cosmetic weapon. That's great. Guess what you can buy with 60 eternal orbs? Fuck all. You can't buy anything with 60 eternal orbs, so it's pretty fucking useless, but hey, it's 800% extra value, which is completely not a number that somebody over at Blizzard just pulled out of their ass. Most likely, there was one of the psychologists that they consulted with that they said, you know what a good number is for that one? 800. Start them off on 800 and then start easing them into, regular purchases, because once you defeat the Mad King, once you kill Leoric himself in Leoric's dungeon, they're going to give you this. The Mad King's Breach Trove, 570% extra value. Now pay attention to the price. Pay attention to the price. 99 cents. 99 cents. So this is another psychological trick. It's called the cracking of the wallet. They basically crack your wallet open because you're like, it's just fucking 99 cents. I'm having a good time with the game. Why wouldn't I pay 99 cents? Look at all the value. I'm going to get this cool cosmetic sword. I'm going to get 60 premium currency. This is great. And on this one, look, I get 60 more premium currency. I get a legendary crest. I get a couple of rare quests. I get 6 gems. This is fantastic. 570% extra value. Then after you do the Forgotten Tower Trove dungeon, they give you this one. You've completed the Forgotten Tower. Now I have access to one-time purchase, includes Eternal Orbs, Legendary, Reds, and you guys get the idea. But this one's a little bit more expensive, see, because now they're like, they're reaching a little bit deeper into your pockets, and they're going like, hey, you got some change, man. You got some more change. Come on, it's only €2. Why would you're practically losing money not buying it? Then you do the Tomb of Fahir Trove. Oh, look at that, some more, a couple of more Eternal Orbs, a couple of more Legendary crests, a couple of more rare crests, a couple of more, gems. Great, but this one's €5. See, this is how they get you. They vary, because understand, these are not all visible when you're there. You only see the latest one that you got. Then you go to Distractions End, same thing, except this one's a little bit more expensive. €7, €10. You guys, how far do you think this goes? €20, €30, €50. And it's going to keep going, because this was my first chest in Hell 1, my first dungeon in Hell 1. So this is going to keep going. There's going to be more deals here. It'll probably go up to $99.99, if not even more. It's going to keep going. But basically, they're going to fleece you dry, because this is all psychological manipulation studied. They've actually studied this shit so that they could manipulate you to the best of their ability and basically get you to spend as much money as humanly possible in this game. If you go and watch most streamers, you're going to be seeing that people have spent upwards of $300, $500, $1,000 already on this shit, which is fine because, they can afford it. But there's a lot of people that can't, and there's a lot of people that can't control themselves, and there's a lot of people that have serious gambling addictions, and this motherfucker will not stop doing spells and distracting me, so we're going to move over back to Westmarch. There's probably something that I've missed, but I think you guys get the point. And ultimately, the point is, this is unethical. This is disgusting. This pretty much tarnishes the Diablo name. When the investors see the amount of money that this game is going to make, do you think that there's any chance that Diablo 4 is not going to have the same business practices? Why do I care? I care because it's Diablo. Because I've seen this type of bullshit in a million other games. And I've seen it over and over again. Don't think that I'm ignorant to the realities of the mobile market. I'm not. I know exactly what's happening on the mobile market. I just find it completely and absolutely fucking disgusting, and it just completely irritates the fuck out of me that Blizzard is taking this IP that has a dedicated community that they've shat on for generations. They've shat on this community, and they're going to take it and they're going to drive it into the fucking ground with these monetary practices. And before you guys think, Rurikhan, but nobody likes this. Okay, nobody likes this, huh? Well, would you look at that? I would say that right here on the App Store, that is the iOS App Store, you can see that Diablo Immortal is sitting pretty on a 4.7 score with 55,498 reviews. But that's not all. Because if you go to the Android store, now the Android store is interesting because yesterday it was at like 4.1 or something, and today it's at 3.6. So people are waking up. People are getting the bitter taste of those XP walls that I talked about. They're finding those bitter pills and they're like, holy shit, this is actually really bad. Still, 404,000 votes with 3.6 rating. That's still a pretty fucking positive rating, despite the fact that this is basically a fucking casino, okay? But this is why I'm talking about this. Because whenever you think that nobody likes this, you have no idea how many people are playing this game. You have no idea how many people are basically getting hooked on this game, that are losing their life savings on this game, because that's the level of psychological manipulation we are talking about. And it's like, look, I care about people, but I'm in this because I don't want to see this move forward onto other video games. It's just that simple. So my final statement when it comes to all of this is this. Oh, okay, this does work. Okay, perfect. Let's go again. Here's my statement on all of this bullshit. The lead hero, enter verification code 8247. Fuck off. Character deleted. That character was like fully decked out in legendaries and legendary gems and all of this bullshit and like the Ban Fahad tomb and all of that. Boom. So first you do that, then you do this, and then you do this. Can you stop playing so that I can uninstall you? Thank you. Yes, uninstall. Get the fuck out of my computer. That's what you should do, team. That's what you should fucking do. And that's my review of Diablo Immortal right there.